Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. As today promises to be a very, very interesting one. We're going to be talking about quite a number of things today. If you're just joining us for the very first time, welcome to the bar. This is where we give you everything politics, sports, entertainment, and everything else in between. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us. We're going to be breaking a few things out. National grid collapsed again today. Oh, they said it collapsed again today. This is the second time in I think less than 5 days. Interesting news. The defense headquarters. Sorry, that's what they're called. Defense headquarters has updates about the alleged coup plot that was going on. I don't think it's alleged anymore because it looks like the updates from them, I think, would officially say that is no longer alleged, but we're going to look a bit into it. We're also going to be looking at updates from what's happening in Anambra State after the governor had shut down a market yesterday and the sit-at-home issues. We're going to be talking about that, also talking about sit-at-home. There's an update from the court regarding Nnamdi Kanu as well, and a few other things. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us. My name is Dolupo, and with me in the studio is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a terrific Tuesday, and we're here for it.
Okay, so we're going straight into the gist. I think the first things first is that sadly National Grid collapsed again. And I think, what's today? Today's Tuesday. I think that happened, was it Friday? Because I remember, I think we had a conversation about it.
Yeah, I think it was on Friday.
Yeah, so again, that we're talking about, that's the first time that's going to happen this month in the year, but looks like it's happening again.
It's happening again. It's becoming the norm. It's so painful. It's something that whenever it goes down, it just never goes well. The grid shuts down immediately across the nation, but it has to be put on piecemeal. And at times it takes 24 hours before people even get restored onto the grid. I don't know how we want to continue life like this. This is 2026. And we're still going through grid crashes. For the upteenth time, we are calling on the government to decentralize power. I know it can happen overnight, but at least if you start yesterday, today you would have made some progress. Decentralize power. Let us look for how we all won't be in darkness at the same time. So that some of us can rescue the others and the others can rescue us too if it happens like that, just in case. It's really embarrassing that we're talking about grid crashes in 2026, and this is a failure of government and governance of 60 something years. You know that ideally we're supposed to have two of everything, a backup grid and all sorts of things. But who wants to invest in it? Nobody. But we want.
I thought we were talking about decentralizing.
I'm talking
Why
about if they had done it from the get, like in the process of building all of this, the power that is generated is sent to a central place, then redistributed, then brought down to people's levels. But all of that, if they had, even this design of this grid, if they had done it right, they would have had options, so that a grid with a backup grid. Do you understand? It's like you're starting a media house and you need two of everything, two generators, two this and two that. That way, you would not be subject to. Look, there are lots of lives involved. I'm very sure of it, because there's some hospitals that this will affect as we speak. There are businesses that will crash. There are a lot of us. Virtually everything in Nigeria depends on power and petrol. And sadly, there's a double-pronged attack on those items today.
Okay. What other attack? I don't understand.
Power and petrol.
What's the attack?
I know it's your next story, so you.
No, it's not. It wasn't supposed to be my next story, but I'm wondering why is it an attack that?
Why is it an attack? Yesterday I bought fuel at 600 and something or 700 and something.
600.
Please now let me gather my thoughts, because I feel the pinch. I bought fuel yesterday at 700 and something, and the same amount of fuel, I'm paying way more for it today, 24 hours after, and we can afford it, so we think it's okay. But for the people who can't afford it, and for some of us who claim we can afford it, but we're actually going through what we're going through to get these things done, it could be depressing at times that the flip-flops are crazy. I know that when Dangote Industries or Dangote Refinery announced this thing, I know that there were riders in that statement talking about the festive period and all of that. Sure you get, but who told them that the festive period ended yesterday? There's still Valentine now. Is it not a festive period? Eh?
Okay. I thought that we're all for deregulation. And
so
deregulation was going
to... because I'm for deregulation, when I'm feeling the pinch, I should be clapping.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't think we should use attack on fuel, because we all know that when it was cheaper, we all enjoyed it.
So your problem now is my choice of words. I say there's an attack on power, which there is.
Yeah,
and there's an attack on fuel, which there is.
I don't think that there's an attack on fuel.
Okay.
I don't think so.
But you know that what you think does not supersede what I think or know.
Oh yeah, it's
So if you say that, I can't say that.
Okay.
It means you're forcing your own
let me say
thoughts, and I won't force my thoughts on you.
So why I'm saying so is that we know that subsidy is what makes fuel stable for a very long time. When there was a drastic drop in fuel, we're all happy about it. These things are going to happen. Do we hope that fuel gets cheaper and gets cheaper? Oh yes, but I don't think that not wanting subsidy or agreeing to removal of subsidy would change this. That's where I'm coming from.
See, whether you agree or not, you have no say in the grand scheme of things. Neither do I. So leave that angle of agreeing. The day the president said subsidy is gone, we didn't agree.
Exactly.
And
so that it is what it is. So why not just let's get with the program?
We are getting with the program. That's why we've been buying it at 1,400, 1,300. But that doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't take away the harshness. It doesn't take away the fact that you feel it when you feel it. It doesn't take it away that the flip-flopping in price is not that easy. Cumulatively, people are going to spend a lot of money. We're still talking to the transporters and we're calling them out. Oh, the price of petrol went down and the bus transport system, the bus, the cabs, the bikes, the tricycles didn't go down. They even went up. Now that there's an additional 100 naira or thereabout, what do you think is going to happen? So I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for the person on the street who today left home paying maybe 500 or 600 or 700 naira for a particular ride, and on the way home is going to pay more than that because of this hike. That's what I'm talking about. Getting with the program does not make the pain go away, does it? It doesn't increase the money in my pocket or anybody's pocket. But the pain is real, and people's realities are there. The person who needs the vulcanizer that fixes your tire, virtually none of, and I hardly see anyone that's connected to the grid. So they all run their pumps with petrol. You know, the woman who grinds pepper, everybody that needs petrol to survive, to make money. So guess who they pass the cost to? It's like Donald Trump's tariffs. He says he's putting tariff on countries, but it's his people that are paying it.
Yeah.
So it's not about subsidy. We've passed that discussion. It's about pain. It's about the fluctuation in prices. That, oh yeah, because it went down to 7 something, we enjoyed it. We clapped, fantastic. We hailed them. There are whole videos of me, I'm sure, where I'm like, oh, my guy. But when it goes back up, I'm still supposed to hail them and say, my guy. No, I won't. I'm not going to hail them. I won't hail them because it makes life difficult. And because we don't have a proper competition system where pricing is regulated. I know that we have free will to do a lot of things, but where does it, in which context does it make sense? Government invested in private sector transport system, gave them CNG conversion kits that are worth over 1 million naira for free. But the CNG buses that you have empowered are charging the same amount as petrol powered buses. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. These are the real issues. Because I'm saying, and I repeat it, the one that hurts me the most, I probably won't leave this neighborhood until the weekend. I probably won't be spending so much on petrol to drive out, but I'm spending on petrol to power the business on a daily. But that's me. What about the people who their entire existence revolves around this thing on a day-to-day basis? And how did you invest so much in the private sector transport system and they never brought their prices down and you were okay with it? And you think people are happy?
Okay, so we definitely will see. We hope that it goes down, but at the moment right now, that's the reality of things. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to transport is going to go up with this. Now, moving on quickly from that, let's go and talk about the president. The president has sent a few interesting bills to the Senate. The Senate had read a few bills in the House today during plenary, where first the Senate president announced the judicial reforms that the president is asking for, that is asking to sign. According to the Senate president, Godswill Akpabio, is asking for an amendment to the Court of Appeal Act that is raise the number of judges from 70 to 110. He's also asking for the Federal High Court Act to increase the numbers from 70 to 90 from the original provision of 50. He's also asking for Senate confirmation of Justice Kayode as Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And basically what the president is talking about, that the increasing number of cases, and because of the number of judges that are available, a lot of cases are being a lot of cases are stalling. So the more judges they have, the more cases that can move on quickly.
Definitely judicial reforms are welcome. As a matter of urgency, it's something that we need like yesterday. And there's still a proposal that it's a free advice to really reform the judiciary. We need this many judges, even more than they have proposed. But we need more courtrooms also, and we need to upgrade them. But most especially, how about building courtrooms in the prisons? Our prisons are congested. They're overcrowded. You know, the people that I've spoken to who have been incarcerated in this country, and when they tell you their experiences and everything, you start to like really wonder. I have my friend Agbaja Lingo, who, you know, was a loggerheads with the governor of his state, and somehow they had him locked up for a while. And he started a prison ministry from there. Like, when I say ministry, not the pastor, he goes there constantly to help them with things, you know, a lot of things, food, a lot of things. He does that like 2 or 3 times a year, and people contribute to it. You know, there's Lamborghini that has his prison ministry, is a Nigerian artist, and he still does it from time to time. And what that shows you is that there is a failure on the part of government. They own the prisons, they have overpopulated the prisons, and they do not have the capacity to maintain or expand. The Ministry of the Interior is, run by Olubunmi Jojo, and one of the first things he did when he became a minister was to use his own private funds and raise funds from his friends and family to help people pay fines. A lot of people don't know this, but in Nigerian prisons, some people are being held by some monetary obligation that they have based on some judgment that was given, and they can't afford it. So we spend maybe thousands of naira to keep them in prison while they owe government a fine. Life was never meant to make sense completely anyway. So the guy cannot pay a fine, but he has to feed. So you spend a lot of money to feed him morning, afternoon, night for months or years, while he's hoping that one day there'll be a reach out and someone comes there to pay his fine on his behalf. The prison system should be rejigged in a way that some of these guys can actually work to pay their debts.
Maybe
the furniture workshops, a lot of things that they can do, craft that actually would generate funds. Even the food that they eat, they can grow it, and be involved in the processing and the cooking and everything. There are things that I think government should do to make it creative.
Yeah.
But why did I go on this journey? The fact is that we indeed need to rejig the judicial system, because most often than not, it leads to people being sentenced to prison, and the prisons are full. So look for a way to, I can't call it a value chain, but the entire judicial chain should be rejigged, not just employing more judges. You need to upgrade the courts buildings and all of that. You need to be creative with it. When the judges go on recess, they have holiday judges. Can we increase that also? You understand? Can we look for a 24-hour court system? Let's just be creative about decongesting our prisons and giving people justice, most especially justice, because that old saying rings true even today, that justice delayed is justice denied.
Yeah. Very, very, very interesting. Still talking about bills. The president also transmitted 24 amendment bills to the Senate for consideration on the Nigerian health sector. According to the Senate president, is saying that the letter from the president is asking for a sweeping reform on the Nigeria's health sector. I said it covers key health institutions, the regulatory bodies, and basically everything.
I pray this sails through very fast. Look, I want a sense of urgency in everything we do. That maybe declare a state of emergency on virtually everything that's happening in this country. When there's a state of emergency, you have to do things expeditiously, and I'm hoping this is what we do. The health system, it's clear, but it's in shambles to a large extent. Now, Nigeria's magnanimity towards our people is supposed to ring through and true for the people, especially in health. Why did I bring that? What's magnanimity? What am I talking about? I'm talking about how education has been subsidized to a large extent in Nigeria, tertiary education. And that's why if you compare the cost of training a doctor in Nigeria to training a doctor in America, they are worlds apart. But guess what? The Nigerian doctors are holding their own globally. They are holding their own in fact, I think it was about 8 or 10 years ago, there was this mass exodus of doctors from Nigeria to the UK in particular. Now, we've always known about them going to Saudi Arabia, some of them going to America, but there was this massive exodus and it was crazy. And at some point I'm wondering that now who remain for shop if everybody don't go, and why are they going? It's because their services are required there, and the pay disparity is crazy. So we don't pay them well enough, but we feel, oh, we've trained them, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay them well enough. They are human too. They have families to take care of, and if you don't give them proper working conditions, it will not work. So this health system rejig, just like we talked about the judiciary, is something that is of utmost importance rather. And there are times when you hear, oh, someone passed on, and you hear the cost. When you hear it, you're like, wait, that shouldn't be killing people anymore, but it still is. There are things that are still happening, because I think year on year or year to year, I think we were just paying lip service to a lot of these things. Minister of Health, okay, yeah, we get that, but what exactly have you done? I want to say kudos to the current Minister of Health, Pate, Dr. Pate. I'm actually following him closely. I'm saying the things that they're doing. So maybe this judicial aspect of things, the constitutional part of it, would now even make it better. I hope so, and I pray so.
So we'll see. We'll see what the updates. We're definitely looking at closely updates from the Senate to see what they're going. And I also really hope that the Senate and the House of Representatives, because they go to both houses, that they actually look at, as much as yes, we want it to be expedited, but we actually also need to look in depth and not have lawmakers that just pass or antagonize bills just because of politics. Like, it actually needs to be understood. Maybe break it down a little bit and even let people know exactly what's in some of these bills, so that we don't have NLC and TUC, after the bills have been passed, they'll now start coming and be carrying placard up and down.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point that you raised, especially looking at how the tax reforms were handled and how in-depth they were. But there's a problem, and it's the lackadaisical attitude of the populace to government and governance.
Yeah, we actually need to look for as well. We
sadly have focused mainly on mundane things too much, like the basic things that we think, oh, how much is the price of rice? How much is the price of beans? We get
road
that.
In front of my house is bad.
We get that.
Yeah.
It's not always brick and mortar. It's in the policies at times, and in the ability for them to actually follow through with their plans. So, if the legislature does its job as at when due, and they are in depth, I like what you said, and they are in depth and everything, it makes it easier. But we must realize also that every stakeholder must be carried along.
Oh yeah,
from the sensitization that you do through the media, and the media is changed now. Apart from mainstream media,
you can do a lot
broadcast
with social media.
There's podcasts now, there's skit makers now, and you would be surprised the amount of people who everybody watches skits now. Because whether you like it or not, they're gonna pop up on your timeline.
Yeah,
they're on someone's WhatsApp status. There's it on it.
The
algorithm.
Thing is that I watched a video today. I watched a short video, where a pastor. I'm just trying to buttress the idea of what media does, and how it was like that. He was the son of a herbalist, and he grew up as a proper herbalist boy and was doing everything. And that if someone brought maybe preached to him or brought a Bible to him or nothing ever just worked. However, his father is a herbalist, saw a cartoon one day, and he was talking about how people get indoctrinated in things, and how these days you see funny things, and also you need to be watchful about what you put out there, or what you even give your children. And his father bought a comic book for him, random comic book. The man did not know, he didn't even read what was in it, and dropped it on the table. He said he came in and picked it up, that apparently it was the story of Jesus, and that was literally what made him a Christian today. Cartoon. something that his father did not even pay attention to. Like, that's how much the tiny things these days can actually, like, information can be passed so much.
That's it. So explore every opportunity and every platform and outlet, so that when people are informed, it actually makes it easier. We studied government. There was a subject called government in secondary school. I know that they've reformed it somehow, called the,
no, it's still, I think it's, so it's,
for,
it's in senior secondary.
Yeah, for lower classes they have a name, something, I heard citizens,
Civics,
something like that, and all of that. Whatever it is, we need those type of things, and we need it broken down to levels. Let people understand that, like in health care, for instance, there's primary health care, there's secondary health care, and there's tertiary health care. And in all of this, there's also the private sector. You get? Let people understand that if you do not live on the expressway, the road in front of your house is either a state government road or a local government road.
Yeah.
All of these things are
that
important.
It's actually easier to educate the really young ones also these days. Whether you like it or not, sometimes that information told in school gets into the house, and they even in turn inform their own parents that did not even know a lot about it. So
I had a friend that he hitched a ride with me, and I was like, "Oh, you got to use your belt." I was like, "It doesn't really matter, blah blah blah." I said, "You got to use your belt." Then we get to a street light again. Street light, not street light now, a traffic light. And I stopped at some point. It's like, "Oh, but there's no car coming." I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna stop right here," and all of that. So about 2, 3, 4 weeks after, we're hanging out, and it's like, that I need to meet his children. That he had gone to pick them one day, I think after school, and he was going somewhere, and they were like, "Daddy, your seatbelt." His children.
Yeah.
I think they were in primary school. "Daddy, your seatbelt. Daddy, that's a red light. That's a green light. Green means go. Red means stop."
Exactly.
And he said he now remembered our conversation, and he felt a certain kind of way. Again, we know a lot of things have been led to go to rot, but it's not too late, and that could actually make the difference between someone's survival.
Yeah.
Or someone's.
Now let's move on. Let's move on quickly, and let's go on to the interesting matter that came out. The defense headquarters, even though kind of a lot of people have been hitting them after they had released a statement about soldiers that apparently were planning to overthrow the government, and they're talking about how they released a list that are going to be arraigned before a military judicial panel. Now, a lot of people are claiming that they had said, or they had denied the fact that there was an alleged coup plot. A lot of people, in fact, I think I saw with Femi Falana had said, "Oh, they need to apologize to Nigerians and all that." According to the defense headquarters, they're saying that this is after they've done their investigation, then they're putting this information out. And now my question is, would it be better if they said nothing? Because there's also the angle where you probably shouldn't put out as much information before you conclude action, especially information that is that sensitive.
Everybody's entitled to a voice and their opinions, but everybody should be guarded by the ethics of their trade and profession, and of course the constitution, the laws of the land. You just pointed out what I was holding on to say, and you just said it right. One, you can't just come out and open your eyes, "Oh, we just survived an attempted coup, Nigerians, thank God for us." No, you don't. There are a lot of things that you need to put in place. You don't know if it's still ongoing. You don't know if what you have stopped is the old plan and all of that. Now, coups are not usually, at least especially coups, I don't know about the coups outside Nigeria or outside Africa, but coups are not usually just the military. They have civilian backing. The civilians are usually the financiers you get, and they are always going to be beneficiaries of the results. If you were tracking one or two of those people, and you come out to announce, we just stopped the coup, you think those people will not be in the wind? Like an alleged former governor and former minister is in the wind now. That guy said he was coming back 1 week or 2 weeks ago. Now it's about 3-4 months and we've not seen him. I'm not going to mention his name, but it's out there. And when he was alleged to be involved in this coup plot, he denied it. His media people spoke, eloquently and vehemently denied it. And he said he was coming back tonight. He has not come. He will not come, except they can go and catch him wherever he's hiding. Then he will come and answer to this. So at times it's not everything that they put out. However, it's because they seem to have a manual that is deny. At times, just keep quiet. Case in point is the issue in Kaduna recently, where there were abductions. If for a reason you don't even have the clear picture, come out and tell people that we're looking into it, we're working on it, we would release a statement shortly or when we are done with our so for you to say, oh, there was no abduction, then 2 days after to say, oh yes, there was an abduction, it doesn't look good on you. And that's why a lot of people are capitalizing on to hit you with jabs here and there. So they need to, the media and PR team of the military, including the police, they need to have a more robust, verbiage. They need to know how to respond. They need their own Bible.
Joshua DDO says more volume on YouTube. Okay. Does this sound better? I hope that this helps.
Thanks for the feedback. So these are the issues. So they must learn that their immediate urge to deny news is not the way. It's even better for you to err on the side of caution by keeping quiet. Than jumping into a denial.
I agree with you. I think so too. Like, let's just be quiet for now, and then when your investigation is concluded, then you put out information on that. Now, let's move on quickly. Also, policeman arrested man for possession of illegal firearm in Akwa Ibom State. Just wanted to put that out there. Now, let's go a bit to the courts. Very interesting conversations. First, a court has ordered FCTA workers to suspend ongoing strike. I know that a few days ago we had come out to say that the minister had basically taken the striking workers to the industrial court to compel them to stop the strike. I think it's 6 days ongoing now. Even though the videos that I've seen a few minutes ago before we came on the show, where they were saying that that they were not going to stop the strike and all that, and I get the angle that maybe there are rights that you're fighting for, but again, I think that it's better to err on the side of caution, because I'm guessing what is probably going to come after this is no work, no pay.
Yeah, that's standard procedure.
So if the court has told you go back to work, I think it's better to find other channels to have conversations with the minister.
The interesting thing about this Abuja strike is that there's a video that emerged about 3 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was on Monday, where it is alleged that it was the minister's car that was driving out of the ministry or something, and there was a crowd of workers, and they were chasing after the car and all of that. And for a minute I'm like, let's just say maybe the car stopped, were they going to attack him or whatever, all in the name of strike and everything? let's be careful too. The minister also needs to be real with himself.
Funny enough, with that time, I now saw a post where someone said that around that same time, the minister was on the tarmac shaking President Tinubu.
So maybe
when
it was
he was
just
going to Turkey. So
one
like,
of his vehicles.
yeah, that I'm not sure that the minister was actually.
So even the fact that it happened is not a good thing. But again, now you said you have, the president's ears and all of that, and you were given some kind of blank check to do a lot of things. The demands of these workers should be looked into.
Yeah, that's let at least sit down with them, have a conversation about it. The truth is that at times, I think that it also seems like there's not a lot of communication between that two, because as much as when we hear most of these things, we bash the government. I also think that sometimes some demands from because when you hear some things that NLC and TUC says at times, I think that they're just absolutely ridiculous. So I think that let's have more like realistic demands, and then move on from that.
What if it's the things you say realistic or unrealistic? What if they're just basically bargaining chips and negotiating systems and positions? Like, okay, we actually want a 20% increase. If we ask them for 20%, they might not give us 20%. So let us ask for 200%. Do you understand?
That's why I said that there needs to be conversations.
This is a big what if. This is a big what if. I'm not saying
like the ridiculousness that NLC said during national minimum wage.
Exactly.
Because that thing was ridiculous. Anyway, so we'll definitely see what is going to come out of this. We've not seen a statement from the FCT's office, minister's office yet after this court order. Anyway, still talking about the courts, a very interesting news coming from the Nnamdi Kanu's case is that the court has now stricken out Nnamdi Kanu's motion seeking transfer from Sokoto prison. So according to his lawyers, which I know that the minute he was moved to Sokoto, I think one of his very popular lawyers have always talked about the fact that how he was supposed to run an appeal from Sokoto prison. Even though, my first question when I see these things is that if I remember the judgment very well, it was supposed to be an undisclosed place. However, we all know it's in Sokoto prison. That's by the way. Now, they talked about the distance in Sokoto. They talked about how he is not supposed to have any electronic device and how that is impeding. Remember that he's his own lawyer. So, and according to his odd lawyer, I don't know if we call him a lawyer or his advocate or whatever it is that the man wants to be, because Nnamdi Kanu is his own lawyer. They said that electronic device as much as printers, he's not even allowed to have printers, because when you first hear electronic device, you think phones. Like, he's not even allowed to own, like, he's not even allowed a printer or anything. Like, he's literally just shut out. So they've really had a few complaints, and now they've gone back to the court and saying that that isn't it better if they move him back to Abuja, where the case is going to be seated, and then since he's the lawyer, he's his lawyer. Now a court is now stricken out that motion.
Yeah, that's the part of the story where I think they got him a lawyer, and the guy was on the case, and the guy says he wants to be removed from the matter, that he cannot be told what to say and do because he is a professional. I think they did that. What's that thing called? Like the public defender thing.
Legal aid counsel. Yes, and informed the court that he was going to withdraw from the matter. Basically, saying that according to him, he wants that Nnamdi Kanu wants to write down what I will say in court, but as an officer of the court, I can't in good faith accept that.
Yeah, so that's one angle I wanted to bring out since you brought out that other one. That look, it's almost like self-sabotage, in my opinion, that you're not a lawyer. You need to appeal a judgment that's going to virtually keep you in prison forever, and you're already playing it wrong again. The same way you said you were going to open your defense and you dropped the names of people you were going to invite as witnesses, then you come back to court to say you're not calling anybody anymore, which basically means you were closing your defense.
Yeah.
So if he's really serious about using the courts and everything, I don't think he will be playing it like this. So there's a part of that story that is not so clear.
You know, after all the drama that happened with the case at first, I'm not even shocked. I would say that some people were probably relieved that that case was over and done with, and so if he even wants an appeal, like you said, it doesn't look like he's going about it the right way. And I think that with what you said with the court, with the lawyer, it makes sense, because if you see the kind of outburst, if you watched videos of the case earlier and the kind of outbursts he had in court and even to the judge at times, you can imagine probably maybe what he would write down and maybe put the lawyer in trouble.
Of course.
So it would rather just, so I think that whatever it is, his advisors should work on him better if he thinks he has any chance, because also
advisors.
With the
you got jokes.
Because also looks like the clamoring from the south is that he should be released. A lot of politicians that have come up, it doesn't look like that matter is being heard by the president, because at this point now the only hope is if he gets a pardon, but not heard anything about that. Anything is possible, but at the moment it looks like that matter is falling on deaf ears. Anyway, moving on, I'm still talking about Nnamdi. This is something related to Nnamdi Kanu, and they were talked about yesterday, where the governor of Anambra State has shut down the main market because of a sit-at-home that the traders decided to uphold, and he had come out to say that Anambra is not going to continue to do that, and that he's going to keep shutting down markets that want to continue with the sit-at-home. Now, this is a very interesting matter, because now it looks like that matter has taken a very interesting turn. But before we get into matters arising on the aftermath of the shutdown of the market, there's also the Commissioner of Information of Anambra State actually now had an interview where he had talked about how they had checked, and for every Monday sit-at-home, Anambra State loses about 8 billion naira in revenue.
Okay, that's massive, right? 8 billion naira every Monday.
And that's just one state.
Every Monday. So this is an aside. Are you saying 8 billion times 5 every week? That's what income that you're getting?
Yes, because if you're looking at it like from 5 states.
No. From 5 days of the week.
Maybe, yeah.
Multiplied by 300 and whatever days.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just an aside. On the real though, I still don't see the sense in the sit-at-home.
The governor
system,
called it economic sabotage,
because you're constantly asking, because this is basically a fight for self-governance, self-actualization. Mm-hmm. You want the Biafra Republic, is it Republic now, or Biafra country, and you want to have your own country. And in the process, your leaders have been incarcerated, one in Finland, one in Sokoto. But all of this, you're asking the people that you want to govern in the future, if you get your country, to suffer every Monday. You're still going to ask them for funds to donate to the cause, but they cannot go out on Mondays. They can't go to work, can't go to school. Mm-hmm. They can't go anywhere. They must stay indoors every Monday. It's a bit of madness. Allow the people to work. Allow them live their normal lives. Your agitations should be channeled through the law. You should look for a way to get all the senators in the Southeast, all the House of Rep members across party lines, to liaise with their other colleagues in the House to insert a Shipping Nigeria's constitution is being updated and reviewed.
Yeah.
It's not a clause that allows for a referendum, and let it be done legally. And if really and truly the people of the Southeast want to leave Nigeria, let it be without bloodshed, and let it be without this sit-at-home thing that's hurting the people more than it's helping them.
Anybody else? I agree with you. It's just, I think
so.
that it's
So
just
there's a video
ridiculous.
that I saw 3 videos of a protest based on the governor's decision to shut the markets for the rest of the week, since the people who own those shops did not turn up on Monday. And they're actually chanting Nnamdi Kanu's names in 2 of the videos that I saw, and saying, more or less like it's their idol, their hero.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting conversation with that one. You know why I even said so is that I don't want to say that it serves the governor right. And why I would say so is because he's one of the people that are not even aware, that are clamoring for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And we know for a fact that it is Nnamdi Kanu and a lot of things that he has done that has led to sit at home, or the activities that has led to the sit at home in the first place that you are trying to fight. So isn't it a little contradictory in my own books that you're looking at it and then you want someone to be released for the atrocities that he has now been convicted of, which one of it is in his own words, sabotaging of the economy of the Southeast, and you want that person released, all charges dropped, and you still I think is a little bit contradictory in my own books. But what do we know? However, the traders have also come out to say that apparently some traders are okay with it, saying that this thing needs to stop. But in the market, there's been a lot of interviews today, and they're talking about how there was a lot of police presence, and that while talking to some traders, they're saying that if they have this kind of police presence next week Monday, they would open.
Yeah, we talked about it extensively yesterday, how government also needs to beef up security, because the enforcement for sit at home is another angle entirely. The videos that I was referring to, or that I referenced earlier, also now shows that yes, there are still different sets of people. The ones that still believe in the agitations for IPOB, and the ones who actually just want a normal life.
Exactly. So we definitely will follow up and see what this would come up. But really and truly, looks like there's a storm brewing in Anambra State. I will see how the governor is going to react to this. Now, moving on from that, interesting news is that Atiku Abubakar's son, Abba Abubakar, has officially registered as an APC member in Adamawa State. Yeah,
news broke, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now, that he had left his party, the PDP or so, to join the APC. He seems to be friends with some top echelon APC people from his Adamawa and other northern states. The funny thing about it was right about the time that some top politicians were joining the ADC that his father belongs to.
Really?
Please, I don't understand your really.
You really?
I don't.
Really?
That his father quite joined. He joined this.
You don't do this. Don't be doing this.
His father joined the party, and so is he a Trojan horse? Is he a spy? Is he an undercover ADC person? Or really and truly, is he joining the long list of people whose parents are against this president but they are working for the president? There are plenty. There are people who were in the APC that their children are working in this government. At least,
Okay.
yeah, at least I know one or two. And their parents are against the president.
Anyway, before we leave,
Is Atiku's son joining that list?
before we leave that matter, actually, before we leave the matter of politics, a very interesting thing that I think we talked about years ago, of a particular deputy governor that I think went through 3 parties, from the APC to like 2 or 3 other parties in the space of like 1 or 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
That particular former deputy governor, now he's now former, that's Ondo State former deputy governor, Agbola Ajayi, has now returned to the APC.
Yeah, because the calculations have started again, and it's already. I know what this person is doing. So, but you see, this is why the long
Are
game.
people going to take you ever
No,
serious?
you never can tell. That's the funny thing about politics.
Okay.
So this is it. The current governor more or less replaced this person. You get?
Yes.
The current governor replaced him. So their principal, the then governor, who is late now, Rotimi Akeredolu, had this Ajayi as his deputy. But for some reason, I think the Ajayi guy really wanted to be governor. He was going to contest against Akeredolu and whatever. Rather than wait it out for 8 years.
No.
Do you understand? Like, the long game that I want to be governor after you. Do you understand? So you... Now, nobody knew that Akeredolu was going to die.
Yeah.
But this man had gone to... I think he went to Zenith Labour Party. He went to PDP.
Yeah, he went to PDP. PDP didn't give him tickets. Then he went to Zenith. He went around.
Being around,
He went around.
like Maze.
Been around the world.
been-
Seen a lot of things.
You sing it the way it was sung now. Shebofe Makorin.
Can't I sing again?
You sing it the way it was sung now.
Been
So-
around the world. Seen a lot of things.
Girls.
The man has seen a lot of things.
Girls. So
He's seen a lot of things.
you go around the world to see girls, Abi. We're not surprised. Anyways, this man is now back in the APC. You know why? I am not sure constitutionally if the current governor can.
No, the
contest
current governor
again.
can't.
Do
He
you
can't.
get? So
Yeah,
what
he
it
can't.
means is that
It's open
in
it's
about
now
3 years'
open
time.
again for everybody.
in about 3 years' time, there will be a search for a new governor. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
And he wants to position it. That's what me I say. This is my own calculation in the matter. But picture this: it would have been the one there now, and not
Actually, yeah. I didn't think about it.
He would have been the one
He
there.
would because, yeah.
He would have been the one.
He would have.
Emani Suru, sir, Atima.
Anyway,
People should be having suru, which is called patience in English.
have you also thought about it that at times, man, God just used to show you that you're human? Because if not, like, it should just show you, like, sit down where you are.
At times, God no put mouth for this thing.
It's not his business, Abi.
At times,
Just
God is just standing on his
Just
own.
looking at his way, continue.
It's just turning on your own.
But you will know what will happen 10 years from now.
Yeah, he always does.
Anyway, let's move on from Nigerian stories and let's move on quickly as there's now, sadly, it's been an outbreak of a deadly virus called Nipah virus in West Bengal, India.
Please, make una just shut down those places.
So, why we're putting out that if you're going to those kind of countries is in Asia again. This is prompting heightened screenings at airports and border crossings. Thailand has also begun checking passengers, and just wanted to put the other. They're saying that in West Bengal, about 111 individuals have also now been quarantined. Now, before I move on from there, so the virus is said to be carried naturally by fruit bats and sometimes pigs, but can jump on humans and be spread from person to person, often through close contact and contaminated food. Fatality rates are high, ranging to about 75%. At the moment, there are no vaccines or approved treatment that exist yet. I said Nipah infections can certainly start with fever, headache, muscle pain, sore throat and vomiting, and in severe cases, pneumonia and respiratory distress and deadly brain inflammation known as encephalitis.
Next.
What do you mean by next?
Please be safe out there. Next.
It's information that
I didn't say it wasn't, but we have plenty stories.
Anyway, Germany has offered 1 million euros of reward for arrest of militants behind the Berlin blackout. So apparently, some far leftist people went out and caused a blackout that's set to cause a blackout in some areas for up to 7 days, especially when this time of winter, that is now extreme. There's extreme winter right now, and then people that actually cause deaths of some people.
The way the world works at times is just it's just crazy.
It's wild. It is. It definitely is wild. Also, U.S. President now sent top officials to Minneapolis after killing sparks backlash. There's been a lot of protests that's happening at that side because of the people that was said that ICE agents had
killed 2 citizens. ICE is supposed to be chasing non-citizens out of America, but they've shot 2 citizens in the space of 1 week. I saw a
picture where someone said, "Oh, how to work in Minneapolis." How the guy put his passport and tied it like in front of his head. Yeah,
there are people who have had their documents on them and they were still arrested and locked up and all of that. So good luck with that. Like, I get it's a joke, but
put your passport in front of your head.
But you know, Americans should stop to think for a minute. You want this immigrants out of your country, the illegal ones, and the people who are meant to kick them out are killing your citizens. It's not. Stop for a minute and think if this is making sense.
I agree. It's definitely not adding up. But quickly, let's go through a bit of sports before we go. Okay, so there's been reports today about Calvin Bassey's father that has now begged for a reunion after 18 years with his 4 boys. So apparently the story is that the husband and wife were married. They were living in Europe, and then there was fights, husband and wife fights, and according to the man, the woman upped one day and took out the 4 boys and disappeared.
I'm torn, there's 2 sides to every story. In fact, someone said it's 3. That is your side, my side, and the truth. You get. And because the picture you usually hear about in most cases is the deadbeat dad, the one that's abandoned his family just like that. Maybe he's got a new wife or whatever, or he couldn't get along with his wife and he abandoned the kids still. There's no co-parenting, nothing. That's the usual story.
In fact, the interesting thing with this one is that the Bassey son name that Calvin Bassey is his mom's.
Yeah, I know. So there's no co-parenting and all of that, and it's good information that Dolupo just put out there. But what I was trying to also point out is that there's also the other side of the story, where you hear the man say, usually it's the man, say he's tried everything in his power to be present in their lives, but is not allowed, is blocked. But there's a school of thought that also says, because the boy is now a global hero, that's why you want to come back and say you're daddy, because there are people who have done that too. There are people who have done that solely because that's my son and he's rich and I can cash in or cash out. However, I pray that the truth of this matter comes out, and if there's still some connections there, let it be. If there's none, maybe that's the way it was meant to be.
Anyway, Nigerian heavyweight Efe Ajagba is set to headline Valentine's Day bouts in the United States.
Efe can have it and get it anytime with just one shot. That guy is one of the most powerful hitters out there. It hurt me when he lost the fight a few months ago, or a year or 2 ago, but is actually meant to be in the top 10 when it comes to heavyweight boxers.
Anyway, finally, before we go, we're actually pretty much literally out of time, but LGBTQ football fans have been given travel warnings for 2026 World Cup over safety concerns. I don't know why there's a conversation around it. I know that there is a game that they want to play for pride and all that. I don't want to, but I honestly always just think that I don't know why conversation of someone's sexuality has anything to do with football or anything else in the world, but what do I know?
The thing for me though is that FIFA keeps saying they should not mix politics with sports,
and they're the king of that.
And this is politics.
Yeah, and they're the king of that. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have take today on the Boom Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.